This is DSP, and I am the Digital Headhunter. Digital Headhunters are the new breed of recruiter who don't belong in three-piece suits and prefer freedom and impact more than expensive business cards. We're the misfits who play chess in corporate America, and yes, HR is a four-letter word. We're here to wage guerrilla war against the big-name brands and win. So watch as I scale up my practice, and along the way, I share all my digital marketing strategies, real-life sales techniques, recruitment hacks, and big biller interviews. Welcome to the Digital Headhunter. Hey, what is up, headhunters and executive recruiters? This is David Stephen Patterson. You may know me as DSP, founder of the Digital Headhunter, as well as the man behind the Headhunter and Executive Recruiter Community, the largest, or one of the largest, and certainly the fastest growing recruiters-only group on Facebook, also affectionately known as hashtag the HERC. Now, I'd like to welcome you to the replay of the premiere of our brand new show, Headhunters and Boxers Talking Smack. Now, it's hosted by myself, as well as Neil Lebovits. For those of you who, well, you probably already know, Neil is a pretty big name in the business. He was a global president for Adecco. He was a COO for Agilon before he started his training career in 2009. And so we have been wanting to collaborate for quite some time. We decided to create this show because, as we all know, as headhunters, half the time you're doing deals in our boxers, and of course we always love to talk smack. So there you go. It's a bit of a free-form show where we just talk about whatever happens to come to mind, or whatever topics you, the audience, the recruiters who watch us, give us. So with that said, the show is going to be running every Friday at 12 noon Eastern there in the HERC. If you have not joined, feel free to do so at the link down below, or maybe it's somewhere around here, depending upon where you're watching this clip. With that being said, enjoy the show. Recruiters and hashtag the HERC. Welcome to our brand new show in the HERC, Headhunters and Boxers Talking Smack. Although I know no one is live yet, but hopefully should be live soon. So let's wait for a few folks to come on in. Let's just banter a bit and yeah, how you doing, Neil?
Hey, I'm doing. Hey, how do you tell that we're live on the thing? I'm looking at Facebook. I see our beautiful mugs. Don't see anything broadcasting, or is that just on my end?
Good.
I'm new to this.
Refresh the Facebook. Refresh the Facebook.
That's like what my dad asked me. It's like reboot. No, I did it, but no worries. Yeah. We'll go live. The old reboot.
You got to go on the line, and you got to refresh the U face, and it'll boot.
Yeah. That's so funny.
That's what I do. My daughter loves. Well, I love making fun of the fact that I'm a dad. I'm pretty social media savvy, but I'm always talking about the Instaface and Facegrams and the Snap talks and the tick faces.
The Finsta. Right,
all the
kids like, you got a Finsta. I'm like, I know what a Finsta is.
The Finsta, you know, the My Faces, Facesters, Face
Indeed.
Spaces.
I'm a social influencer.
Are you a social influencer?
I pimp products. Yeah.
Oh,
no, man, I'm not really, but that's hysterical. I love that they influence people. It's amazing.
Well, that's essentially what I used to call recruiters. I used to call us cyber pimps. I thought it was a cool name, you know, just because, you know, you're a recruiter, you tend to be a bit weird anyway, and you have a weird sense of humor, and I just thought it was funny.
Well, it was before the internet days. It was really weird. People, you know, they didn't know what cyber was, so that was
before we get on the line.
Yes,
on the line.
On the line.
I saw it in a movie once. Well, looks like we have some folks here. Sorry, so let's chat. So this is the Headhunters and Boxers Talking Smack. We were going to call it Talking Shit, but we figured we'd rather just say Talking Smack for the, you know, anyway,
the younger demographic.
Said, for the young ones, yeah, you know, it's all about
the crazy kids out there. Crazy kids.
Children are our future. Neil, don't you know that?
The kids are our future.
They are our future.
Children well.
You should cherish your children.
I believe children are our future. We could sing now. We didn't even plan that. We could sing like two-part harmony and just.
Give me my head. Can you sing harmony?
I can. Yeah.
I don't even know what singing harmony is. I just heard it once. And I'm like, So,
That's good. I'll lead.
funny thing, I was in band. Speaking of which, I'm musically not inclined at all, but I actually was in band in high school.
Band, like the cymbals or like a real instrument?
No, even worse. I was color
No.
guard.
No. Not
Holla.
mocking any of the color guards out there because it is a
Yeah, it's
very, very noble profession in high school.
I
But
was color
wow, a
well,
color
so I
guard.
was
How does
RTC I was RTC color guard there as well, and they added a rifle section in my last 2 years, and so I figured out, I'll do that. I was already a nerd anyway, so I'm like, screw it. Let's go all in. So I was an RTC nerd, and then I became a band nerd
do you
on
have a
top of
picture
that.
of you in high school? You showed me one a bit ago. You
Yeah, I
have
had
that
it I
one?
had it loaded up to be, it's just
Yeah,
it's
go
all
ahead, show
natural. I
it to
just
the
happen to
group.
have it right here, but
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
me
Well, that's
in
amazing.
high school.
You look very tough. Oh my gosh. Did I lose you?
Took me off the thing.
Yeah, it
Alright,
took
can you
me
hear me
off
now?
too. But yep, I do.
So here's the thing. So if you notice that picture, sitting with my best friend Aaron, he ended up dying a few years later. Really sad, but that said, so I was Air Force Junior RTC drill team, color guard, band, and this is a coup de grace, coup de
It's a
grace.
coup de
I
grace.
could coup de grace. I
Coup de
was
grace.
I was president of the Model Rocket Club and the Model Aircraft Club. Two
I
separate
almost spit
clubs.
my beverage out.
Two separate clubs. We
Model
didn't you could have
Rocket
combined
Club,
it.
dude.
Model Rocket and the Model Aircraft Club. Two separate clubs. President of both. Holla.
So how did you become this like buff, studly, fun guy? Like that's amazing. Like, do you go
I was
back to
a
your
bit
high
of a
school reunions and just like take revenge on all the people that bullied you?
I used to want to.
Yeah,
But then as I get older, I didn't give a shit because they're sad and you like I would
it
see
is
them on
sad.
Facebook and so a lot of those folks are sad. I think the problem is, and this actually goes to a lot of times what I teach people is sometimes if you have the natural, I get people who they're not very good at sales, right? They think that look, I don't have the gift of gab. And I think sometimes the gift of gab can be a hindrance
Totally.
because you don't work on your skill. So, yeah, so if you're in high school and you're the high school quarterback, you've got all the honeys, all the girls, and then you go to the big leagues, go to college, and no one knows who you are, and you don't develop those skills, the ability to work and grind, and I was a late bloomer. I wanted to be liked by girls. I worked on my social skills. I started lifting weights and started like kickboxing and started doing other like really cool things, started skydiving, started doing cool
Kickboxing.
things.
So color guard and then kickboxing. Like, did it rain in between there? Like when you were like 20, was there thunderstorms creative of these two different personas? Like that's polar
Yeah, I was hit by a bolt of lightning. And I got my I got my skydiving license when I was like 21. I've been licensed for many, many years. So yeah, so it's but yeah, I was a total nerd, man.
wow. So this show is
Yeah.
about you. I thought it was about the two of us. So you've been
Uh,
upstaging me ever since the promos, which is I get that people don't know
yeah.
me out there. Hello, Herc. Pleasure.
Oh yeah, so
Oh,
Neil Lebovits.
oh no, no,
So
I was. It doesn't have to be about me.
Neil, for all of you who don't know, Neil is a long-standing Agilon Adecco, who's president or vice president of
No,
Adecco, trainer
global
for many,
president.
many years. I heard of
Yeah.
you way before I hit the scene. I'm kind of the new kid on the scene in a way. Well, not the new kid. There's a lot of new kids that are now coming in last year or so, but I'm a sophomore. You're a senior. I think that's probably the way to
that
put it.
hurts. I'm a senior in two ways. Yeah, I'm 56. Man,
You know, look
yeah,
at
my
man.
hair's only like this because I shaved it for the pandemic. But enough. Let me let you talk about me.
You don't look bad for 70, man.
Thank you.
Not bad.
I try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give you like, hey, so this being a show about boxers, let's see your
That's
boxers.
my entire intro for all of Herc. That's cool. You guys.
All right, so
No,
okay, let's
don't
do
joke.
it. So Neil is actually a really, really cool guy. So when Neil reached out to me and he wanted to chat, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of a big name. So I was a little bit, a little bit verklempt. So actually, yeah, that's a great introduction because Neil.
Can you hold me?
is the
Can you
man.
give me a virtual hug right now?
Yeah.
No tongue. Imagine if you're a little. Yeah.
Is it weird if I hold you and I look you in the eyes the entire time? Does that make you uncomfortable?
More of the kickboxer you as opposed to the collar guard you, and I could deal with that. Not that there's
Yeah.
anything wrong with it.
I hold you tight. what they call a slow hand, the easy
Oh boy.
touch.
Oh boy. Wow.
I
This
take my
show is,
time.
yeah.
Take my time. So speaking of which, so let's see your. Now we do have things to talk about, but I do want to see Neil's boxers.
Oh, so well,
And I'm not
I
wearing
have
mine,
what's
unfortunately.
interesting is this is the spring line collection. And it's just it's you can't really tell the pattern, but it's a really nice sort of spring kind of, lovely, nice pattern. But these are my boxers, and I was going to wear a top sort of suit part like they do in all the news shows and stuff. Let's see
Oh,
yours, my
should have done
man.
that.
What do you got?
So I chickened out. I didn't wear my boxers,
What?
but I do have
What do
these
you
really
mean?
cool
Wait a second. What's the name of the show?
Headhunters and boxers.
Are you
Talking smack.
kidding me? No, come on.
Wait,
You're wearing boxers.
you wear the boxers. I'll talk the smack.
Dude. People have to be totally bummed out there. Anyone like have comment? Like, how are you not in boxers?
False advertising.
No. Wow. I think we need to have an uproar from the community.
Laura's
and
probably disappointed. I know Jason's disappointed. Hey, so here's my boxer. I will say this: by Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai never die.
That's awesome.
Right? So can I sweep the leg, Johnny?
Well, I bought
bag.
probably, well, we could talk about my purchasing during this pandemic, but I bought probably $200 worth of boxers for our series. And then you're just holding them up. You're going to have to at least have them because they do need to change every week.
I will wear them next time. I promise. That was my bad.
Wow.
I didn't think you'd wear them. I thought you were going to show them like me. And then turns out.
Well, had we named the show Headhunters Holding Boxers Talking Smack, I would have not worn them.
Funny thing is, I do see here. So I see here in the comments, clickbait or switch it bait.
No, it's a total switch and bait. People are on here not for me. Well, I tease them with my fake body doubles. So I got a lot. It's funny. None of the guys commented on me like with my package showing and pictures of me with a model body. It was all women, which was totally awesome. Guys, you don't have to be homophobic. You can love us. We need the no, it's okay. But
yeah, man love.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
But
no, I'm a little I'd say I'm a bit vexed and a little bit concerned about the whole integrity of the program.
Yeah.
Okay, we could get off of that. But yeah, those are my boxers.
This is where we lost the plot. That shit goes off the rails. So, but that said, well, let's do this.
Well, we were talking about in the beginning about how we first sort of met and started talking.
Oh yes, yeah, we well, yeah. So Neil, I've always, I've heard of Neil. He's just been around, seen his training videos and whatnot. And I was kind of a newer kid on the block. And then Neil reached out a while back, and we started chatting. And we actually hit it off really well. We have a lot of the same philosophies. We agree most of the time, disagree a little bit, but for the most part, we have as you can tell, a very similar personality. He's a bit of a kind of a weird little douchebag asshole, which is basically me. So we're
I love it. I would get in so much trouble on my training circuit. I would have 95% of the room giving me a rating of a 5. So I did really well on it. But on the same note, I would always super offend 2 or 3 people. And it would be horrible. So I couldn't talk. I wouldn't say the S word. I wouldn't certainly show up in boxers, but it's your group. And if people don't like your style, leave, right?
Yeah, leave.
Which is totally awesome.
Well, I will tell you, and I tell people all the time, like, if you're afraid of putting content out there or being out there, being an authority, you're afraid of what people will say. Look, when I came out as a trainer and I had little to no credibility at the time, other than, I'm a firm owner as well, or I've been in the business for years and years and years. And so because of my personality and the way it come across, I got so much hate. It stopped. Just like after it was weird, it was all of a sudden, boom. Once I got it somewhat established, to stop. But it's like when you first go out there, people aren't used to you being out. And so they give you shit, almost like, I don't know, like a test, but eventually it just stops. But I got a ton of shit. I had one video I ran an ad for at the time on Facebook. And I got probably 4 or 5 comments from recruiters who literally were making fun of my shoulder movements. Cause I was doing some of this, trying to be like, it was like the weirdest thing. And yeah.
Well, they're computer warriors, so it's easy to be, people are hypercritical online anyway, but with your style. And then again, that's the thing. It's great that this is an entire group of people. Like, again, it's easy for people to leave the group. I don't like that. I want the so let's talk about the skill marketing like, if you want that, and not mocking it, because different strokes for different folks. This isn't the station. This isn't the show for you, for one, right? And this isn't the group for you. So that's completely why I reached out to you. I've joined, and we don't need to give your group a plug because everyone here is on it. Yeah. But I've had so many people join this group, I think bar none. And I've joined every group, from my networking to see what's going on in the industry, to I get clients from it. I sell my material right now. I've been giving it away, but best group. Like, I love the interaction for it. I love it's not just you, which is the thing, your personality. You created HERC, but these people, these comments, the intention, the sense of humor of everyone, the helpfulness. I've not seen any other group like it, honestly, which is why I reached out to you. I didn't reach out to any other group asking to partner.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Well, I'm glad you did. There's not many other trainers I would have done this with as well, because there's a lot of them I just don't care for, or no, I don't care for, but I just don't like what they stand for. But there are lots of lame advice out there. I never heard you give any lame advice, but there's lots of lame advice out there.
No, did I say this about you? Speaking about lame advice, here's what I love. Oh, no, that you don't have it. What's killing me out there, and this is like day 2 of the pandemic. How many people did you see that are peddling the solution to the pandemic, selling in a pandemic, the new normal? Like, can I say the F word? I won't say the F word. But how the hell do you know what's selling? I've been through 4 recessions. Okay, you sound like you're 90 when you say that. So that's not a good selling point to most of the recruiters out there. But how do you know? This isn't like other recessions. This isn't like the recession we had last time, or the one that we had in the 90s. So you don't do that. I mean, you have stuff like, look, get off your butt, get off your ass, and start selling. Don't be chick. Like, I love all the stuff that you're talking about. You're not peddling crap. You know what I mean? Do you see that?
Oh, thank you. Well, no, yeah, I appreciate that. And speaking of the pandemic, one of the things I did, I was like, look, we got to change our messaging, obviously, so we got to talk with the elephant in the room. But I was like, but we can't. But I have every company out there is telling me how they're dealing with it, or give me advice that I don't need right now. And if I to my audience, like an SAP director, I can't give him leadership advice because I don't know. I can't walk in his shoes. What I can do is I talk to other SAP directors. I can put them in touch. That's the value I can provide, at least for right now. Let's at least do that. But
absolutely.
But don't presume to. I don't give a shit how you're handling COVID-19, except if you are my grocery store, Netflix, or Amazon.
Oh God,
I care.
How many of those emails came out in the beginning? My logo company that designed my logo like 20 years ago. Here's how we're handling COVID-19. Like, I don't care.
Here's how
my logo 20 years ago. Like, big deal. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's funny. And now I think it's and now all the weird terms like the new normal.
Oh God.
I hate that word, man.
Yeah. Oh my God. I have, there's a thread in the group, which is hysterical. Any of you out there have not seen it, please add. I think we've got them all covered. The sound bites during these unprecedented times, right? Like, all of those things. In the abundance of caution, David, I'm going to say that, right? Like, all of these, like, it's just great. Like, it's just crazy. But I think collectively, I'm going to save all these sound bites, because in 20 years, they're going to be priceless, and they'll bring us back, to a Vuja day.
But I will tell you this. I always thought the apocalypse would be more exciting. I really did.
It smells like I thought it would smell, though. I'll just say that. There's a certain stench in the air that's apocalyptic that I like. Either that or it's not showering. I don't know.
Well, I did think we'd be worn out on motorcycles with football pads and ashless leather chaps and spiked hair, trying to steal everybody's petrol like a Road Warrior.
That's funny. I picture myself a group of color guards just going out there and attacking people. So that's interesting that you do the polar opposite. Interesting.
Look, I'm saying is, when in Rome, right? If I'm in the Australian outback in the apocalypse in the early 80s, I'm going to be all Road Warrior in it. I'm just saying. I'm going to be
totally.
Mel Gibson, just with ashless leather chaps, with my big football pads. The younger crowd doesn't know what I'm talking about. Road Warrior was the best movie in the series. Best movie in the series.
Yeah.
Thunderdome was stupid. Mad Max 1, not bad. Well, what's your favorite?
How do you know? Me?
Let me ask you, what's your favorite of the three of the Mad Max series, the originals? That tell you a lot about a person. If you're one, you're pretentious. If it's three, then you're too into, I don't know, pop culture shit. You know what I mean? If you're two, you're cool.
All right, well, you're totally losing the audience. But what if you only watch one because you thought it was a bit much? That would be me. So I don't know where I fit in. No, but interesting story. The blonde nut job in the second one, I actually knew in England. I hung out with a bunch of actors that were not sort of famous. Now there's James Purefoy, the guy from Harry Potter.
Bow and arrow?
Yeah, James
the bow and arrow.
Yes, yes, exactly. The blonde nut girl.
Oh yeah.
I lived with her and everyone, so I became a little bit of a fan just to see her in it, but I never really got too much into the Mad Max thing. That might be the color guard kind of wanting to live it out in the fantasy world for you thing, and not to beat the color guard to death, because again, I don't mock it. I know we have plenty of color guards here in the group, and I don't want to.
Don't forget, I was a patrol team, model aircraft club, model rocket club. I was a catch. I was the kid that would blow the curve on the AP biology exam just because I thought it'd be funny.
You see, I believe you should flatten the curve, David. No, see, again, another soundbite from the time. We've flattened the curve.
We flattened it. It's time to get back to work.
Shelter at home. Shelter at home with headhunters and boxers talking smack.
Yes, do that, but then go to work. I want to go to the movies again. Realize go to the movies may be a thing that we talked about in the before times at this point.
Don't listen. My side gig, and it was going to become my even bigger gig. I mean, my main gig now is I do training, but I pretty much give it away for free. I sell back office services, but I left that really, and I became a ticket broker, one of those ticket scalpers. Crazy business. Like it took off. Like $1 million worth of sales I ended up having. I'm like, you name it, any ticket, concert tickets, sport tickets, any show you want.
Is Broadway,
of course. Broadway guy, don't mock. Oh no, you're mocking me on the Broadway.
I'm just saying, I just want to get,
all right, fair enough.
Be real.
I do have a Broadway Facebook group. That's a really big group. That's awesome. All right, fair enough. Touche, my friend. But yeah. Anyways, we don't have to go there.
Hey, nothing wrong liking Broadway. Nothing wrong with it. I'm sure.
No, but it came to a stop. It came to a halt. So I'm hoping that live events do take off again. But you're married, right? I believe, right?
No, technically I'm not. I'm engaged.
What do you mean technically? Oh, you're engaged. Are you living with this lovely, lucky lady?
Living in sin with a baby.
Oh, okay, right. So that's why I thought you were married. Bad assumption.
I was married. I was married twice. I'm divorced twice. Twice divorced.
I'm divorced once. I am single out there for all of you HERC ladies.
Yeah, I was.
Really?
Don't show them this video, But I will say, which gives but I will say, I was divorced. So I've got 3 kids, each from a different mama. I collect baby mamas. I collect them all.
Wow.
But,
that you know about
twice divorced than that I know about.
I got to tell you.
Well, I will say, when you get, when you are a late bloomer, in high school, and you kind of develop that, you do. And I learned a lot about sales in terms of like social interactions, going to bar. It just, I use these examples of my training all the time, which I know I probably should because it's kind of weird. But a lot of what I teach, I learn from just like, okay, walk up to that group of strangers. How do you get their attention? How do you keep their attention? And how do you get them in? Like, that's a cold call.
You know what, dude? Dead on.
Some of the same principles.
But do you think your personality, so mine, now that I'm in my 50s, I'm very retrospective and introspective, and I was a class clown. I got kicked out of my Hebrew. Someone's offended. I got kicked out of my Hebrew school. I got kicked out of classes a lot, but that was my defense mechanism because I was a late bloomer also. But I didn't ever want to be in that group that got bullied or abused. So I became the funny guy. And it worked, right? But it's a defense mechanism, which is why you hear so many. And I'm not saying I'm in a league of comedians or anything, but that you do see that. I'm asking you, do you think didn't your sense of humor develop because of your late blooming and because of your personality as a way to offset that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it may be very much it may be very flippant, and it's like I think that stuff can either make you or break you.
Well, you got to be smart, right? If you're smart, right? Then it's good stuff.
yeah, you go through the fire and you come out better, or it can break you. You can become a victim. And I think, well, also I've got, I don't know if you've heard, but I mentioned it sometimes in the group. I've got a speech impediment. I've got verbal apraxia, which is another like
Yeah.
thing I still have it.
What
but
is that?
It's where my brain doesn't connect with my mouth in the right way. So it's like a stutter, but instead you get stuck. So for example, when I was in grade school, I might try to say something and it would come out like, I can't, and it was debilitating. She can't communicate. And then of course I was bullied in grade school. High school wasn't bullied so much. I actually had good friends, but I wasn't there. But grade school I was.
But you're a funny guy then, I'm sure, right? Anyway.
But that helped me, yeah, because that's what. And then obviously I got into this line of work, and so it's just that's why I have this sort of stoicism sort of attitude, which is the obstacle is the way. Like, if you have someone in front of you, then you talk the fuck, you get it. Like, don't be a victim. I hate that victim mentality. Sorry, I'm going off on a rant here.
No,
but it's from
this is the show.
But that's what, some people just have that, and they use victimhood as a security blanket. Others say, look, it is what it is, and I'm dealt. I'm gonna make the best of it. And so, look, you've obviously done very well for yourself despite your face. And
I have a radio face, I'm told.
And I think I'm just kidding. Actually, Neil's actually a good, really good looking guy. But I think that it's, you have to be willing to eat shit. And if you're not willing to eat shit, it's going to be harder to succeed in a competitive environment, I don't know.
And wow,
anyway, I go on.
Deep. This is supposed to be a bit of a comedy and a training show with great information, but who knew it was going to be a deep? I wanted to make you cry. I feel like Barbara Walters, right, or Anderson Cooper. I want to get like that moment that it's going to go viral. Like, and so I was color guard. But
and I never learned how to read.
David, it's okay to show your inside. People need to know the real David. That's why I really came on here. You don't have to hide behind this little HERC persona, David. Hold me.
I don't even know the real. Don't me touch you?
No, not in that sense. I mean, touch me emotionally. Touch me.
So let's talk to some serious. No, not seriously. We'll talk about some news, because I think we can. Let's do something. And of course, and guys, if you guys want to comment, there's a link I dropped in the chat. If you want your name to appear on the screen, click that link and authorize Facebook, and then your name can appear. So you'll be, famous. But let's take a look at some news. I know Neil got some news items for us. So yeah, take it away, man.
So for those of you who will be watching regularly, I mean, this is really, we're going to talk about great stuff that you need to know, that you want to talk about with your clients. And, as opposed to like that morning show news silliness, we'll still have the silliness, but we're going to just talk about topics that are with our business. So let's just get right into it. So the first article that I picked up that I thought was just some of the highlights, this was from May 4th. And big headline, 62% would consider changing jobs if employers don't do enough to protect during COVID-19. So 62%, David, said they consider changing jobs, but if and only if they felt that their current company wasn't doing enough to protect them. And this was in the survey, right? And the younger people were more likely to change jobs, no shock, but you still got half the people that said they do it. What's your take on that? I'm going to tell you what, I look, for one, it's a very sort of opportunist headline. I don't buy it. Do you? And I'll tell you why I don't. I don't believe it.
I think, here's what I say. I say, with a good script, you need to meet your prospect where they're at. So is your company trying to kill you, Neil? I don't know. I suppose okay. In all seriousness, the way I look at it, I guess, man, not all my jokes land. But I will say this: that what I always, what I've been telling people lately is that obviously everybody's psychology kind of changes, right? When before they want opportunity and the money, now they want, for the most part, probably security, stability, strength of leadership, etc. So I think I'm not sure if they feel like the companies do enough to protect them. It probably depends on what side of the aisle they run on. Do they feel this is all a hoax? Do they feel that this is like the next apocalypse? I don't know, but I do think though there is a certain feeling for a lot of folks that they're kind of being left out to dry, and I think a lot of companies who maybe we're all in this together, guys. Oh yeah, you're furloughed. Oh yeah, you're late. So I think there is a bit of uneasiness and fear in the market. And again, like I said, I think like one thing I always suggest is, when this thing happened, you got to go back to your client and say, hey, we got to change the way we sell this, guys, assuming they're still hiring, right? So let's talk about strength of leadership, security, stability. Like, how can we sell that? Because right now, the challenging environment may not be as appealing to a lot of folks right now.
Well, and so it's definitely a hot button, right? So recruiters need to use it because it's a thing. So I like that it's out there. Why I said I don't buy it is that I think it's an opportunist headline. And I think I think the real numbers, as we know anyway, is if you were to poll people in a normal time, over 80% of the people would consider new opportunities. Why? They don't publish that. Recruiters know it inside out.
That's a good point, yeah.
Recruiter study shows it, right? We know. Get on the phone and recruit people. And by the way, right now, for those people that are feeling bad or not doing all the activity, this is when you should be recruiting like the wind, right? Which makes the wind doesn't recruit, but
yeah, don't be a bitch. Get on the phone.
You got to get on the phone and recruit people, though. That's the great backdoor into marketing. These are the people that aren't employed or that are on furlough, whatever. Or you recruit them to market to them. They'll be your future clients. But 80% are going to do it.
And cheap plug, go check out the leadership training I did yesterday where I talked about that exactly. So I'm sorry.
And I didn't watch it, so but exactly. And that's a smart thing to do. But you do have to play off on it because it's certainly a new question that recruiters can ask. Because some people are going to be upset. Now, when they do go back to work, or the company that made them come in, relax distancing, and I'm not getting political, whether that's the right thing or the wrong thing at all. I'm just saying no matter what state you're in, what color your state is, there are going to be people there that are scared and that are going to resent some companies for how they're handling it. So I just think as recruiters, we need to headhunters. We need to take advantage of that, David.
It is, and also here's to your point. Actually, a good point. You said that 80% will leave in a good environment. They don't mention that. The one thing as well that a lot of people don't realize that is that if you look at say an environment where you say resources. As resources become more scarce, then there's more of a hoarding mentality, right? And so when you look at maybe it's jobs as a resource, right? And you've got somebody that gets 5 calls a week from recruiters pitching their jobs. So look, if you go take a job, it doesn't work out, dude. There's a loaner right on the corner. It's not a big deal. Now they're few and far between, and so, or at least that's the perception. And so, yeah, they're a lot less likely to want to leave because the way I talk to my prospects is, look, it takes a lot more of skill and nuance because there's a lot of those C and B players that act like A players. Now they're all over the market applying to your jobs. But if you want that true professional, that real top performer, they're likely still at the company. Their company has their claws in them. They want to keep them because they need them very badly, and they're scared to leave. So it takes a lot of skill and nuance. Need a true headhunter for that, not just a post and pray recruiter. And so it's a different mindset. It's like when these candidates would post these diatribes about recruiters on LinkedIn, you just bitching about recruiters. Do you see that anymore?
No,
I don't see it.
No. They love to get the calls now, but the B and C people aren't going to really get all those calls. If they do, they're going to be screened out really fast. But, the recruiters need to remember one of the big psychological powers of persuasion is that people want to do what the masses are doing. And right now the masses are scared. It's our job as headhunters. When we're talking to these people, let them know, look, every A player I'm talking to, every one of them is looking to move. They're game to move. They know that this is the time to strike. This is the time to take that hot button, whatever it is for them, whatever it is that they really aren't getting out of their current place, which if everything's perfect, move on, right? Your call's going to be lame. But whatever that is, we let them know that everyone's doing it, aren't you? Right? I mean, again, we do it in a very crafty way, but that's the method that needs to be done today. How to sell in a pandemic, Right.
That's
But
how, yeah, because really think about it, yeah, you tell them, look, I mean, and even if their competitors aren't hiring right now, they're going to be very soon, right? This is the time when it's time to strike, but at least the time to get your ducks in a row. So when things open up, when your company opens up budget, whatever it is, you're ready to go right now, right? Because otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to be behind the 8 ball, and yeah, and like, look, at the end of the day, 3 months, 4 months, whatever, when things go back to somewhat normal, again, those B and C players that act like A players before, do you really want them? And I hate to use the word B and C player, but there's always a bit of a bell curve, right? There's the people in the middle that are okay. Well, if you've got only a certain number of heads, I'd rather take the $150,000 project manager that brings $1 million in value than a $100,000 project manager that brings $250,000 in value. What's better right now for you to survive? And that's the long view. And it's like you gotta kind of beat it into their heads, because right now everybody's thinking short view because they're scared.
Yep. And I'd say, and I'll move on to the next story, but I think it's important to engage in this dialogue. There's polls out there. It's a great poll to talk about with your marketing calls and your skill marketing calls and your potential managers and your leadership calls, to ask them, listen, a lot of people are concerned about this. This is what I'm hearing out there. This is what the stories are showing. What are you doing about it? Where do you stand? How do you rate your company in it? It's a great conversation that's different. Take advantage that it enables you to not have the same old marketing call that you used to have.
Okay. And also a little tip as well. One thing that I've developed over the last couple of years is when you're out there and having those conversations, let's say in a cold call or just a conversation back and forth, a lot of times what I found is when you say things like, what I found is people like you are telling me, or you're probably in this situation. When you make it about them, and we're salespeople, there's an inclination for them to think, okay, they're trying to pitch me. It's almost as if I were, selling lead gen services, and I say, Neil, I work with recruiters just like you who have a problem with their lead generation, and you're like, I'm fine with my lead gen. Like, you don't know, you're trying to sell me some shit. But if I were to say, look, I don't know if it makes sense to work together, but here's what I do. I work with recruiters who have a problem with their lead gen. So I'm more in a qualifying stance. And so whenever you're telling this thing to them, never say, directors, or VPs, whatever, like you, or try to make it about the folks that you're working with. And there'll be a lot more, they'll more readily accept it because they won't be in that defensive posture as much, right?
Well, listen, bingo. I mean, I don't care if we talk about this story for the entire time, because each story begs so much great training and value added stuff for this group. What you're talking about is something that's at the crux of what all my training has been, and it's the psychological elements, again, of what make people tick, right? They want to go where the masses are. People want to do what other people are doing. You have to sell, not tell. You can't do what you're just saying. That's old. It's just sounds like you're selling to them. So of course they're on the defensive. Every time you're out there, anyone listening to this, watching this, anytime you're out there trying to convince someone of anything, which is all the time, it's got to be a third party story. It's got to be about someone else who learned the lesson, someone else who benefited from what you're talking about. And it's obvious, but most people don't do it, right? When you do the old interview thing, I mean, I was president of a global division, and I do the old sell me a watch thing. All I'm looking for is, sell me a watch. They just, let me tell you why you want to buy this watch. It's got the perfect crystal. All that stuff is just amazing. So
yeah, and what happens too is it's also, it gets right into my training, because I say the exact same thing. It's stories, or I tend to put it in pain, but it's really the same thing. When you could talk about the people that you work with that are in some sort of pain and they resonate with that. For me, it's selling the pen, right? I'm not going to sell it talking about the grip or even about the benefit of it easing pain. I'd rather say, look, I work with executives who after years and years of using these cheap pens, they get this pen that radiates in their arm. And on top of that, when their new client brings out this Mont Blanc and they sign this contract, they bring out the Bic. It's kind of embarrassing, and maybe it can impact the bottom line. At least that's what they tell me. Look, and you can say, does that resonate with you or not? But at least you're saying in such a way where it's not about them, it's about other people. And they're a lot less likely to be like, because I say this all the time. People are always talking about the unique selling proposition. What's your unique selling proposition? What is your bullet points, your elevator pitch? And what's happening is and that's decent advice. But when everybody is USPing all over the market, then it's like, then you got to stop doing that, because you got to tell stories, talk about pain, whatever it is, but do that first to get their attention. Then you can USP on them.
Yep.
But
how does it resonate with me? It's dead on to all my training, which again, this isn't a plug because I normally sell this for a lot of money. It's my best selling product. I give it away for free to this group and to all the recruiters during the pandemic. Download my boot camp. It's good. It's got great stuff. A lot of things you guys have been asking for. You can find it at thedynamicsale.com/pal, as in buddy, as in pal and Genesis. So, but in there, David, you're like, if you ever have the time to watch it, which you won't because we're like swamped, but it's I talk exactly about that. In fact, I want to add on to your pain thing. It's great because it gets to the emotional hot button, which most people don't do. They talk, well, I'm looking for a pen that's easy to grip, that is ergonomic. That's great. And to get to that point, you're doing a good job in selling, but you have to take it to the step further to get to that pain. And the way I teach people to do it is to ask 3 questions. What is this hot button? I need to be ergonomic. All right, well, what does that mean to you? So what is it? Then define it for me. So give it to me. Then what is it? Well, it means that, my arm's good. It's really good for my natural writing movement. And then the big question at the end is why? And that why, because I have a bad arm. I have bursitis. I've got just like everything you just said. And that's how you get to that point. And I want to add on top of it, you need to do, in my opinion, much more. People like you just said, the pain is much more effective than the pleasure, right? People will work a lot harder at trying to stop someone from stealing $20 from them versus trying to earn $20. Look at the credit card company that ripped you off $20. You'll be on hold for 3 hours to do it. If I were to ask you to do something for an hour to make $20, you tell me to take a hike, right? So I'm totally with you on that. But you want to sprinkle it, David, with the positive end too. So it's the negative emotion with that pain and the positive, meaning when we solve your pain problem, here's the benefit that you get from it. So I like to sprinkle both to the same exact point. So everything you just mentioned, and then the upside is how awesome it is when people don't have that pain anymore. What it's like to be able to, I mean, the pen example, we're sticking with that one because what you brought up, but we've got plenty of great ones.
And the funny thing is, so what you talking there about, is really the sales process, right? Once we're talking to them and you're in, but even that same principle could be applied to prospecting, which I think is different than sales. Sales, prospecting, and marketing kind of different, because prospecting is just going out and you're really qualifying and working through your leads to find out who's in pain at the time. Because if someone's not in pain, how are you going to sell to them? On price, I suppose. But nah, son, we ain't about that here. We don't sell on price. But it's about the pain, right? And so a lot of it, so the analogy I like to use at times is, if you're a lion and you're hunting a herd of zebra, are you going to go chase every zebra down? You're not, because it's a waste of energy. A zebra is probably going to outrun you for distance over time. But if you go intimidate the herd, agitate it, and you see the weak zebras popping up, you're like, that's dinner, and you go after that one. In much the same way, you're prospecting. If you always lead with pain, out, right, and you're saying where it resonates, and then and then you've got something to work with, and then you can get in a conversation, baby step them.
It should be your total dialogue, right? Total.
But everything you're talking about. I did this actually in the group 2 weeks ago. So I did this thing. I said, I had a student ask me, hey, what do I say to the CEO who says, why should I work with you? And usually that's where most people say, well, Bob, see, you're 20 years in the business and and we're really
act now and you get Ginsu knives.
As opposed to, and you're like, did I get it? What did you think? Right? As opposed to say, well, Bob, I don't know if you should. Now, I'll tell you what I do. I work with executives who but they've got this pain, and it impacts their ability to Look, I don't know if we're a fit. Why don't we dive in a bit, see if there might be some synergy? And look, if there's not, I'll point in the right direction. If there is, I'll help you out. We're not right in every situation. And now you're more on a peer. You're not like, please, can I get your business? Like the whole thing, tell me how I can earn your business? I hate that. It's the lamest shit.
Totally.
And so it's just a needy
totally
frame, right? But look, I'm just preaching to the choir here.
No,
but,
it was so on the same page. So again, just in the interest of time, because I mean, who knows? We're playing with the show. Maybe we need to do one story, and we can go all over the place. And this is great stuff. We want this to be super fun for y'all out there. We want you to want to tune in. We want to give you. We figured Friday would be great because it's just a great way to welcome the weekend. Or in this case, the weekend actually means Saturday. I know many of you don't even know what day it is due to the pandemic, but. So let me move on to the next one, David. So this one, I think this is a topic all in and of itself for an hour, but this one was on April 29th. Is it keeping workers engaged is different today? Talent management, quote unquote, is the staffing word of the week. Talent management. And the sound bites from that is that interconnected human resource processes designed to source, attract, select, train, develop, retain, promote, and move regular employees, right, through an organization with the aim of improving revenue, customer satisfaction, blah, 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 blah. What's your take on that? Talent management, key word.
Sounds like a lot of word salad to me. Shit, son, I ain't about that. I ain't talent acquisition. I'm an agency recruiter, and so talent management and engagement is me calling them, getting them on the phone, and getting them interested in a position. And I joke, obviously, yeah. To be in all seriousness, everybody's working, or most people work remotely now, and for a lot of companies, it's such a new thing. So obviously, they have to change the way they interact. The way leading remotely is a lot different. I've got remote employees now, so I get it. It's hard. You have to trust them. There's different expectations you have to set. So I certainly get that, but at the end of the day, I do say I'm not a talent acquisition guy. So my outlook on that is going to be a little pretty limited compared to, hey, how about this? How do I manage a team of recruiters who now have to work remote? My team of 5 recruiters that I can talk to, right? But I will say that is one of the big things that I'm getting from prospects that I talk to. They're having that issue, trying to figure out like how to navigate these waters. So I will say it is a challenge for sure. Neil, you okay there? Oh, Neil is muted. Not muted on my end. Not muted on my end. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Oh man, I lost Neil. Oh man, I've never been in a live by myself before. I don't know how to handle it. The pressure. Oh, and Neil's back on. Hold on, there we go. Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. So yeah, I've had trouble. My computer froze up, and I have a beautiful Macintosh. And let me just change a plug here. Wait, keep talking.
All right. So while Neil's doing that,
I'm good. I'm back.
I've got a joke for you. Where do I store all my dad jokes? In the database.
Oh God. My kids make fun of the dad jokes so much, but you know what? My dad had dad jokes. When everyone's a little older, you appreciate the dad humor.
Oh yeah,
is almost like. All right, so I think that's some word salad with you. I agree also, and my take on that is, I don't know that that's overly applicable. I think it's good to use to recruit people, to talk to them, because most companies stink at it, which is why it's the buzzword of the. I don't know why it's the buzzword of the week. I agree. Come on, really? But it's a good thing to certainly to talk to candidates about, because that'll certainly engage them. So let's see. I do want to
piggyback off that comment actually before we move on to the next subject. So here's something else to think about, right? So when we're talking about, I guess from a perspective of how does the company attract an employee in today's market or today's environment or the new normal, and you want to talk about our engagement and this and all these touchy feely things, and that's fine, but the way that I say is no matter how good your, it's like everything's sales, everything's influence, right? No matter how good your thing is, if everybody's saying the exact same thing as you, then it doesn't matter, right? Back when I first started, being an SAP specialist meant something. Now it doesn't. It doesn't, because there's so many specialists here and there. But back then there weren't that many specialists. I can really just ride that. And so these companies, if this is the way I make fun of companies who say, well, yeah, we have a great culture. We have Hawaiian Shirt Friday, and we really value our employees. Like, oh, that's great. I get the same stock line from every single company I work with. let's really dig in. So I think you have to think, if you're in talent acquisition, like I come up from a marketing perspective, a sales perspective. Just think about, is everybody else saying the same thing you are? And if they are, then change up your script. Like think what gets into this heads of the people you want to work with, and speak to that. Don't speak to some goddamn word salad. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, bingo, man. But so many recruiters do. Any boot camp or any training when I'm hired for companies that I ever do, we role play it. And everyone says exactly what you're doing. They always say something that every other recruiter can say, meaning we value ourselves. Like, what's your elevator pitch? I mean, go back to your elevator pitch. And what does that look at? Whether you love that term or hate it, I don't care. Go back to that quick attention period that you have. What are you saying? Well, we've been around for 20 years and we believe that the customers come first and we have the highest level of integrity. Give me a fucking break. Excuse my French, but everyone's saying it. Right. So the line that I always use to get people out of it, and I think it's a great way for many of you to play with your calls, is to pretend that you're not on a call. You're at a bar and you're with your best friend, you're with a buddy, and they're like, Neil, you've been really successful. Like, why are you good at this? Why do you love this? Why should, like, I don't get your business. Why should someone work with you as opposed to David? Right. Let's not use David. And that's your answer, whatever that is, because your answer there is going to be why? Because I am really smart. I listen to people, right? They totally engage with me. I like, because anyone that I've ever worked with has referred me to 20 other people because they say I'm very unique. Like I don't care what it is. Whatever you're telling that person is your elevator pitch. Refine it. But that's how it should be. So dead on. Like, I mean,
100%. Well, and again, I actually, the same principle. If you guys watched the leadership call training I did yesterday, I talked about the same thing. I have a little bit of a different way of approaching it, but it's really the same thing. I talk about to a VP candidate you're talking to. Everybody else glad hands them. Well, there's shitty VPs. There's great VPs. There's a middle of the road VPs. There's a bell curve everywhere you go, right? So it's for me. So I may talk to 20 folks with, you sound great, Bob, but I cannot talk to like 20 of you guys every week. So no offense, but I want to really get down to the heart of the matter.
Yeah.
What really makes you different? What's your sauce, special sauce? And sometimes, and what I found, as I mentioned in that training, if you put them on their heels and kind of cracks them open a little bit, you can actually have a really honest conversation. Because one of the biggest things you could ever give somebody, one of the biggest gifts you can ever give, is the gift of clarity. Make them clear that maybe the way I'm presenting myself isn't the way I need to be. The reason why I'm not getting that next level job, right, is because I'm spouting the same shit that everybody else is. And by you pushing back, giving them a gift. But unfortunately, for most recruiters, they're not strong-willed enough to be uncomfortable enough to ask the hard questions, and you're doing that person disservice because now you're being selfish. You know what I mean? I guess it's a mindset shift, but you have to ask the uncomfortable questions and do the uncomfortable things because it's a gift to them. And if you don't do it, you're doing them a disservice, and you are a weak recruiter.
Amen, brother. Really, amen. So we're pretty much, I mean, we got lots more news, but we could cover that next time. Questions. I mean, we wanted to take a little time before we wrap up all these calls. And by the way, Ken Poulter, great to see out there. He said it's hard to mute Neil. I've known Ken for a long time. So keep in mind, he's being cute because we go way back. Don't want anyone to follow his lead.
Oh, actually.
Am I muted?
Turns out it was pretty easy.
Oh, that's hysterical. So do we have questions? What do we got? Anything?
I don't think so. I think we kind of cover some things that people mentioned in the comments, but we do have to go. And I've got a training class in 6 minutes. As my second one of the day. Our first was what we call dojo, which was just practice, role play practice like a dojo. And I've got my accelerator class here in 5-6 minutes with actually Excellent. Some of the folks are on this call right now, like Corey, Laura. By the way, so that's, I guess, going to wrap up. I guess, Neil, any last words for these fine folks? These beautiful people.
No, I'm muting myself now on purpose. No, I don't. I'm thrilled to be part of the HERC community. I look forward to providing a lot of value as a moderator and to be involved in lots of the discussions. Reach out to me. Take advantage of my material and whatever, but I'm really here just to be a resource. And I love the energy of the group. And David, we have so much in common. And I love that, we have different stuff that I'm going to steal from you. And I think vice versa, because we say the same things. That's really what I loved about your material when I saw it. Yeah, but it's awesome. Like, we can't keep saying the same thing the same way over and over again. Gets a little old. But the philosophy that you espouse is brilliant and dead on. And
thank you, brother.
Yeah,
and likewise, that's why I resonated with you as well. And your sense of humor, right? Again, I like people who are like me. Like attracts like, right? They say opposites attract. I don't really think that. Like attracts like, and so I think we're a lot alike in a lot of ways. And so I think you'll provide a lot of value to the HERC as well. And I think this show is the shit. Oh man, I was gonna do the air horn. God dang it. Totally screwed that up. Anyway, that's, I guess, my last words. Yeah, so we're gonna do this every Friday. God willing. But we'll, for the next couple of shows, probably just be Neil and I, that as we feel things out, we may be bringing on guests. So if you ever want to be a guest on the Headhunters and Boxers Talking Smack, hopefully next time I'll actually be Word of Boxers, then we can actually get you on as a guest. So hit us up, let us know. And one last thing as well, just my plug. As I'm not really been promoting Accelerator or Tactical. Accelerator is my done with you. Tactical is my done for you lead gen. But if anybody's interested in it, hit me up, let me know, because I've got a big thing coming up, a big promotion. But hit me up now. We can talk about it. Happy to do so. But I'll just leave it at that. Just reach out to me. You're a recruiter. I'm sure you can find me. With that said, how about we sign off with a dad joke? You go first, then I'll go.
Oh my goodness! Do I have a dad joke? I say you go first. I'm not. Well, I'm a great on the spot guy. I'm not a joke type of guy. And when I do, they're terribly R-rated. So those are 5 of them are coming to my mind right now, and I'd be crushed. So a dad joke.
I'll do one.
I do have a million. Yeah.
Why do girls always travel in packs of odds?
Why do girls always travel in? I don't know, David.
Because they can't even.
Oh, geez. Oh, that's horrible.
That's good. That's a solid gold dad joke. As dad jokes go, that's a good, like, that's probably at least, I don't know if I call it a dime, but it's like a 9. It's at least a 9.
Dude, you're killing me. You know what's going to happen because of this? I know so many. My kids literally. My niece told me last week, you know what? You and your 2 brothers, my dad and your brother, you're not funny. They're dad jokes. And she's cracking up laughing. I'm like, you're going to love the dad jokes. But what's going to happen, David, is because I'm not coming up with one right now. In the middle of the night, I'm going to wake up like I got one. And I'm going to probably have to post them under the HERC comments. No, I know a million of them, but now I'm going to really be upset that I haven't come up with one. So I think I have to leave the show forever now and bow out from this series because of that.
Yeah, we had a good run, brother. We had a good run.
It was the best 53 minutes I've ever had.
Hey, so by the way, real quick, Jay says here, oh shit, where is it? Jay says here, because I told him that joke before. Dad with 5 girls says that's a great joke. Ed, also client, says, yeah, listen to me. What word I said, have you? That's awesome. All right, so I will say this. We did have one question here from Will. Kind of like we got to get running. I've got 2 minutes to get to class. Being a big shop guy, how is being an entrepreneurial recruiter? And actually, I know Will actually started Frederick Fox, his firm, I think within the last year, and he came out of Tima, and I think it was somewhere else before.
Is this Will Spengler you're referring to?
Will Spengler.
Yeah.
Spengler.
Will doesn't know I know him. We talked at my last job. I don't know if he remembers. Yeah.
Well, let's do this. Let's keep that in the chamber for next time, because that actually can be a topic of an entire show. So I've got my story. I'm sure you've got your story.
Great topic.
My story involves cashing my first client check for $28,000 and change at a daily pay or a check cashing place called Amscott in a bad part of Tampa. Good so stuff. That's there's all story behind it, but yeah, it's
all right. Let's put it on Will to remind us next week to bring that up.
All right, that's all you guys, the listeners. Remind us. All right, that said, appreciate it. Bye, everybody. Love you all. Peace out. And this will be on the YouTube channel at some point. So love you all.
Hey, thanks, man. See you next week, buddy.
See you guys. Hey, thank you for watching Headhunters and Boxers Talking Smack. Who doesn't love Headhunters and Boxers? Who doesn't love talking smack? Join the show every Friday, 12 noon Eastern, live in the Headhunter and Executive Recruiter Community. And make sure you click one of these boxes here and watch some of these videos or something. I don't know what's going on here. I just work here.